Good morning, everybody. Day 1 of General Assembly, and I'm already operating on less than 4 hours sleep. Woohoo! So, my Saturday at GA is beginning with heading to a briefing breakfast for Progressive Presbyterians that is being hosted by the Presbyterian Peace Fellowship and More Light and a whole bunch of other progressive parachurch organizations that are here at the General Assembly to try and accomplish some good things, try and make us a more just church. The Presbyterian Progressive Partners Breakfast,
yes,
and there were all kinds of organizations here being part of it. We had That All May Freely Serve, More Light, Sophia, the Voices for Justice. We had Creation Earth Care,
Presbyterians for Earth Care,
Fossil Free
Peace USA,
and
Israel Palestine Mission Network.
And of course, it was organized by
the Presbyterian Peace Fellowship
by Emily here and Marilyn, who was with us there. So I thought it went extremely well. I thought it was really good. Like, Shannon, what did you hear from any of the presenters that really you thought stood out?
Well, Emily had, I think, the best sort of thought of the day, which was that we're called to be disciples of Jesus Christ. We're called to be peacemakers. We're called to be prophetic no matter the cost. And this is the moment to be the church. And even if it creates conflict, that's who we are to be. And you just really set a great tone for that, I thought, Emily. So that was, I thought, the best comment.
What are you happy
I'm
with?
a little biased. I think Emily makes the best
This video is
comments.
just going to be about us just talking about Emily, just wanting to see how long we can have her sit here between us and not
So I'll just say what I loved. What I loved was that I think everybody really worked together to present the issues well to the commissioners and to kind of do the highlights, and I think made themselves, I think one of the most important things was just that they were kind of connected to their issues so that the commissioners knew who their resource people were.
Exactly.
So it just kind of made it more so that everybody would be able to get the information that they need as they move forward in their committee and plenary work.
Yeah.
One of the things I've witnessed at past GAs that frustrated me was watching progressive groups at GA step on each other's toes, get in each other's way, sort of fail to collaborate well because they have slightly different opinions about how they want to proceed, and so they kind of end up tripping over each other in a sort of Keystone Cops routine. And I felt like this was the exact opposite, that everyone really did a great job emphasizing what was important to them without interfering in other people's primary issues, and enabling each other and like supporting each other, backing each other up. I thought it was beautiful.
No, it was really great coordination. So this is the first time we've done this breakfast at General Assembly, where we've pulled everybody together early to coordinate and to provide a unified front for the commissioners, but also to, be different in our messaging as well, because each group has different pieces that are important to them, and you could see some of that differential between That All May Freely Serve and More Light being really supportive of each other, but also lifting up different issues around that overture, sort of various positions on the fossil fuel overture, but people being really supportive mutually at the same time, which I think is really like a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I thought it was a beautiful model.
Yeah.
And maybe we should call it the first
annual.
annual. First maybe annual.
That's right.
Once you call it that in Presbylandia, then that means that it's a forever thing. So
And Ray like moved me to tears with his witness and his moment of silence for Orlando, and his I think tasteful and effective connection of the apology overture to what this signifies in our society, the way our society treats LGBTQ people, and I just thought that was just really well done.
Yeah, it was a great witness of a variety of people, and I thought also we had a really great turnout of commissioners and also advisory delegates and resource people to committees, and they've got great information to take back, and they know who their contacts are, which was the whole point of everything, right?
Yeah.
So.
I was getting texts through the breakfast of people saying, "This is so great," or somebody saying, "Oh, the person beside me is like, this is awesome." So that was cool and affirming.
Good way to start off the assembly. We have opening worship coming up.
Yeah, we've got opening worship, and tomorrow there will be a press conference at 4:00 at the Peace Fellowship booth. It'll be led by former moderator Susan Andrews, and she'll be joined by a few other former moderators, and Martha Munoz, who's the head of the Presbyterian Church in Columbia. She's our moderator of the church in Columbia, and they'll be speaking on the Fossil Free Overture and the Moderator's Letter, 4:00 tomorrow.
So I was up at 5:30 today, and it's now about 11:30, and by the time I'm done editing this video, it's going to be about 1:30, maybe 2 in the morning, which is just kind of how General Assembly goes. So I'm walking back up the hill to my apartment. But we did something amazing tonight at the Assembly that I just had to tell you about. We elected our first co-moderators, Janet Edmiston and Denise Anderson, first co-moderators in the history of the Assembly, as well as the first double-woman pair of moderators in the history of the Assembly, so some big firsts there. And I just want to take a second and tell you a little bit about something I was thinking about on the bus on the way home, about why this election of Denise and Jan is so important for everyone in our denomination, men included, white men included like me, who have had the benefit, the privilege of seeing many moderators who look like us. And that is because we as a species, the human species, are engaged in, a vast struggle called life, and in this struggle, the ways that we have set up our systems have made it so that only certain people have been granted access to power and privilege, and this has been a handicap to us as a species. This has meant that we have intentionally cut ourselves off from the gifts of countless people, and while that was in the first place, a crime against them, it is, in a second place, a crime against all of us. It's a crime against every single one of us who wants to see a just peace, who wants to see a better world. And so it's just a huge relief to me, because I know that, I was raised, as men in our culture are raised, to think that I should be able to do it on my own, to accomplish it on my own, that I have, all the power and all the ability, and I know how untrue that is, how limited my capacities really are, and I know that I could never win this struggle if it was just gonna be me and people like me being given the reins. So seeing us expand that platform and knowing that we're all gonna be better off, all of us, every single one of us, are going to be better off if we can wage that fight for compassion and justice side by side. So, anyway, thank you to the co-moderators. You guys rock. I can't wait to do the rest of this assembly with you. Good night, guys. Real talk for a second. At the last General Assembly in Detroit, Israel-Palestine discussions were probably the most fraught topic of debate at the entire Assembly, and I suspect that they're going to be similarly intense this time. There may be other issues which draw more attention or which are have a bigger impact overall on society, like the fossil fuel debate, but the Israel-Palestine conversation stirs really deep emotions in people, and for this reason is going to be uniquely challenging.